Alright, question 1, tutorial 1, chapter 1 and 2, right? So kita tengok kat sini question number 1, waiting times in minutes of customer at Providence Bank and the Valley Bank. So ada dua bank lah, PB and VB, right, are given as follows. So dekat sini they give the data. We have how many data? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is it? So you dapat N equal to 15 and PB is equal to 15 and VB also equal to 15. Right? So they ask us to calculate mean and standard deviation. So mean, the formula for mean is summation of x divided by n. So you need to plug in the value into the calculator lah. So very simple. Just buka calculator. Where is my calculator? Yes. Right. And then let's try to key in both together. Right. Instead of a single value, kita input the single value. Now we try to input both value together simultaneously into the calculator. Right. So first tekan mode and tekan 3 for statistics. Right. Remember last time kalau kita nak key in data, we click on 1 minus variance, which is 1 for a single value, right? So now we're going to move to the next one, a plus bx. So number 2, so we have x and y. So you need to remember lah, which one you nak masukkan. This is, let's say this is x and this is y lah. This is not a two independent variable and dependent variable yet, but we treat it as a dependent and independent variable lah. Okay, buka banyak calculator. Sekejap, tutup. Right. So we input the data lah. This one 3.2 and then 4.4, 4.8, 5.2, 6.2, and then this is 6.7, 7.5, this is 8, 6.5, and then 6.5, then 9, right? Oops, 9, and then 5.1, 3.3, 5.2, 4.0, and 4.9. So we have all together 15 data lah. So next, kita masukkan serentak lah. Tak payah nak siapkan satu baru buat satu lagi, lambat lah. So 5.8, this is 5.6, and then 5.7, 5.8, oops, see, nampak tak? Kalau I guna calculator ini, I boleh check. So I tahu satu data I tak masukkan. So I can recheck balik lah. 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 8, 6.1, 6.4, 6.7, 6.7, 6.7 3 times kan? So 6.7, right? Yes. First data is 5.8 lah. Kejap kita check balik ya. So kita letak dulu sebab I miss out this one. 6.8, 6.5, 7, 6.9, 6.5, and 6.4. Alright, kita recheck balik ya. This is 5.8 lah. Kita boleh check Okay. This is the advantage of using this calculator lah. That's why I want you to have this calculator. Right? Yeah. So senang you nak check. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 0.1, 0.4, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, 0.8, 0.5, 0.7.0, 6.9, 0.5, 0.4. Right, this is for the second one. For the first one, 0.2, 0.4, 0.8, 0.2, 0.2, 0.7, 0.5, 0.0, 0.5, 0.9, 9.0, 5.1, 3, 0.2, 0.0, 0.9. Alright, correct. So after you are already check the value that you input, dan tekan kosong lah, AC lah kan. And then since mean are required, so kita nak buat dua kan, so we need to have two lah. So this is you buat macam ni lah. A, this is for B, PB, this is for BB, right? So X bar for PB, right? So summation of X divided by N. So kita tekan calculator, shift 1, right? So remember tadi kita letak PB as X kan? So 1 kita ambil sum nombor 3, X, summation of X nombor 2 lah. So it should be equal to 84 divided by 15. So this one should be berapa? Kita biar dulu. So shift 1, number 3, summation of Y, number 4, right? So X bar VB, summation of X divided by N. So this one should be 95.6. 95.6 divided by 15. So this one should be, tak payah kira, kalau nak kira pun boleh. Shift 1 and tekan variance number 4. Right, so X bar and Y bar dekat sini. Right, X bar number 2 should be 5.6. And then this is number 4, Y bar, number 5 should be 6.37, right, 37. Okay, so this is the mean for BB and PB. So next we need to find the standard deviation. So standard deviation, very simple to calculate. Standard deviation for PB should be the square root of summation of X square minus summation of X, and then you square divided by N, everything divided by N minus 1. The square root should be the cover whole equation lah. Right? So you input the value of summation of X square. Summation of X square mana dapat? Because shift 1, number 3, X square number 1. So you will get 510.46510.46, and then this is 84 power of 2 divided by 15, everything divided by 14. So this one tak payah kira, tekan shift 1, number 4, and we want standard deviation for sample, right? So this is a standard deviation for population, and this is standard deviation for sample. So number 4 should be equal to 1.69. 1.69. So this is a standard deviation for PB, and standard deviation for BB sama juga step dia. So you tekan shift 1, number 4, shift 1 number 3, right? So summation of Y squared number 3, so it should be 612.28. 612.28 minus 95.6 square over 15 divided by 14. So this one should be equal to shift 1 4 SY number 7, right? So 0.46. So this is a mean and standard deviation for PB and VB. So all together are 3 marks, right? So very simple if you are using a calculator. So now B, from the box and whisker plot of waiting times for both Providence Valley banks, comment the shape of distribution of each plot. So the shape of distribution, let's say you kena rotate lah. Boleh I rotate this one? I boleh copy tak? Oh, tak boleh. So you need to rotate 90 degrees, right? So you kena tengok this one for the lowest and this is the maximum. So if you notice on the right hand side, the area on rectangular ni lebih besar, and the tail, the whisker also larger compared to the right and the left hand side, right? Remember, bila you rotate, this one should be left, and this is for right, left and right. So dekat sini kita boleh kata the first one you have for Providence Bank, the waiting time, the data is skewed to the right distribution, right? For valley data, so we can see the rectangular area on the left hand side is larger compared to the right hand side, so this is going to be skewed to the left distribution. This is skewed to the left distribution, ataupun negatively skewed lah, right? So now kita tengok C, dia kata kat sini the mean and standard deviation of Provident banks 5.6 and 1.692. Oh, dia dah bagi dah siap kan. Determine which bank is more consistent in the waiting times. Oh, this one dia kata satu saja kan, Valley Bank. I buat dua-dua. So next time baca soalan betul-betul lah. So sebab 3 markah saja kan, right? So now which bank shows more consistent in waiting times? So we need to do a coefficient of variation lah. So this is a PB and this is a VB. So coefficient of variation CV. So what is the formula for coefficient of variation? S divided by mean or mean divided by S? S divided by mean multiply with 100% lah. So this one for PB is 1.69 divided by mean is 5.6 multiply with 100%. And for CV VB is 0.46 divided by 6.37 multiply with 100%, right? So calculate this value. You dah calculate kan? Berapa ni for PB? PB dapat berapa? %30.17%, right? And for VB, 0.46, which is 7.22, right? So which one is more consistent? So if you look at into the coefficient of variation, PB is much smaller compared to PB, right? So we can say that VB, the distribution of VB is more consistent compared to PB. Right, that's all, 3 marks. Okay, so this is for question number 1. Let's look at question number 2. So question number 2, in automobile industry, so dia kata dekat sini, customer service is a crucial factor affecting car sales. So customer service is a crucial factor affecting car sales. So the management of reputed automobile company is interested in determining the level of customer satisfaction. Right? So kita highlight guna the different colours lah. So this is level of customer satisfaction. So bila kita baca tu kita tahu this is going to be your variable interest. With the service provided, service provided by the company or service center lah. The company has altogether 40 service center throughout Malaysia. A sample of 8 centers was selected at random. 8 center was selected at random. So the word random here, so kita tahu kita akan fokus kepada probabilistic sampling techniques lah. So they are all 5 techniques yang kita belajar. So you need ingat itu saja lah. So the questionnaire are disseminated to all customers who service their car at these 8 selected service center lah, on one selected day. So the day of the survey lah. So one question asks is satisfaction level on service provided using rating good, fair and poor. Right, so kita ada 3 scale, 3 kategori kat situ, good, fair and poor. So good, fair and poor is a categorical variable. So we know by this variable is a categorical variable which level of measurement, nominal or ordinal. Kita tak boleh kata fair, good and poor. Right? There should be no order kan? Good, fair and poor. Right? So this one should be ordinal scale lah. So daripada sini kita tahulah apa yang dia bagi. So now state the population of the study. So the population of the study should contain the word all. So this is the first word yang you sepatutnya tulis untuk to state the population of the study. So all apa ni? All customer who service their car at 8 service center. Bukan 8 service center. At service center lah. At selected. Bukan selected lah. At service center sudah. Kita ada 40 service center, right? Service center throughout Malaysia. So 1 marks. So name the variable of interest. So the variable of interest is a level of mana tadi? Satisfaction level. Satisfaction level on the service provided. Right? So this is the variable of interest and type is a qualitative variable and level of measurement ordinal. Tadi kita dah bincang Right. So identify the sampling techniques used in the survey and explain briefly how the sample is selected. So basically we have 40 centers, right? At each centers we have several customers lah. Ada banyak customer dekat each center. So this one should be certified sampling. So you need to explain lah. Explain in brief ni maksudnya dalam bentuk point lah. The first one, first one we divide the service center uh, into 40 service center. Select 8 service center at random. So and then apa dia nak berapa orang dia nak ambil dia tak bagi tahu So starting select the sample in each strata using a simple random sampling until the satisfy sampling sample size. Itu sajalah. So 3 marks. Okay. So this is how we answer question number 2. So now let's look at question number 3. So this one should be very simple. The descriptive statistics for lifespan in years brand AA washing machine are summarized below. So this is an example of SPSS punya result, right? So how to get this result? So you need to open your SPSS lah, right? You dah install SPSS? So I just got my latest version of SPSS version 28. So once you open version 28, dia akan keluar dialog box macam ni lah. This is the newer version lah. So let's say I pick one data. So last time, kalau you ada version yang lower than 28, means 26 and below, I never go through to version 27, but version 26 and below, dia tak ada sample file. Sample file ni you kena buka dalam dia punya program file tu, nak cari satu-satu. So but the newer version 28 ni, so dia ada provide satu tab dekat sini. So kita ada nampak sample file. So sample file ni very easy lah. Nowadays kita nak understand the data, we need to playing with the sample file. So I just open demo.sav. So this is the interface of SPSS, right? The newer SPSS. So dia nampak lebih professional berbanding yang lama lah. Yang lama punya. You ada version berapa? What version do you have? Hey, Muhammad Asri, what version do you have? That is a terrible lah. You need to install. You need to get your SPSS. You need to start with your project, right? By now. So that's why you need to have SPSS. I bagi tahu dekat you all, you kena ada guna secondary data. So secondary data does not require set up your questionnaire ke, you nak distribute questionnaire. So you need to have the SPSS software by now. So siapa lagi yang dah ada? Amir Yusof, you dah ada SPSS? So which version you have? So 26 in this one lah, yang warna biru ni. Right, so 28 and belakang ni lah. So tak banyak berubah pun, dia just ubah suka-suka hati, dia ubah sikit-sikit saja, and then dia tambah analisis yang bagus sikit. So this one, how to get this? So we can go to analyze descriptive statistics and click on descriptive lah. So let's say I input years, right? Option I tak nak benda lain lah. Apa yang dia bagi dekat sini? Mean, mode, standard deviation, minimum, maximum. So minimum, maximum, mean, standard deviation, mode, I think should be there, right? So macam ni lebih kurang benda yang sama, lebih kurang, cuma dia ada lebih mode dekat sini lah, right? Let's see whether we can call mode dekat sini. We don't have mode here. Lebih kurang, right? Because result yang daripada SPSS version, older version lah. So now let's look at this question number 3. So calculate the coefficient of skewness. So coefficient of skewness, we have two formula, formula 1 and formula 2. So let's look at formula number 1, which is mean minus mode divided by standard deviation, right? Because they already give us the value of mode, right? So we need to use we don't have any choice lah. You need to use this one. So this one should be 6.59 minus mode is 7.04 divided by standard deviation 0.74. This one should be equal to, so let me change to this one, 6.59 minus 7.04. But basically we already know this is a positive value, 7.4. So this one should be negative, negative value, 6.6 minus largest value. This is 0.6, negative 0.60. So since the value of coefficient is negative, so we can conclude is the shape of this distribution is skewed to the left distribution, right? So explain the value of mode, the value of mode, explain the meaning of mode value. Mode means the most frequent lifespan is 7.04. The most frequent lifespan, right, is 7.04 years, right? So given the mean and variance of lifespan for brand BB, so this is a brand AA, BB is 7 point, so XBB is 7.1, and the variance as square BB is 12.3. So SBB should be equal to square root of 12.3 should be 3.51. So using appropriate measure, determine which brand has more consistent life. So this is same as before. We need to find the coefficient of variation lah. So coefficient of variation, let's say kita letak BB and AA. So kita buat dalam bentuk table, senang kita nampak. So CVBB should be S divided by mean. Standard deviation 0.74 divided by mean is, sorry, this is BB, I confused. So this is 3.51 divided by 7.1 multiply with 100%. So this is CVAA should be 0.74 divided by 6.59 multiply with 100%. So this one should be 3.51 divided by 7.1. So multiply with 100%. So this one should be 49.43%. And the next one should be 0.474. Oops. 6.59 multiply with 100%. So this one should be 11.23%. So we can say that distribution of brand AA is more consistent compared to version brand BB. So we can say AA is more consistent. Right. So question number 4. A researcher wish to study student satisfaction. So this is uh, chapter 1 my question. Student satisfaction, strongly disagree, natural, agree and strongly agree. So this is a Likert scale. Kita panggil Likert scale. So Likert scale is a ordinal scale. Ordinal level of measurement. So towards service provided by academic affair in medical college X, a researcher choose only 10 of 50 classes. All students from this class will be used for the study. So what is the population of the study? All apa? All students. All students from 50 class. I think from all student in medical college X. Maksudnya semua sekali. Right. Yes, we know maybe there is a 50 class or maybe there are more than 50 class, right? But the population should be all students in medical college X. So state the sampling frame from the above study. So kita tengok dekat sini, researcher choose only 10 or 50 classes. All student from these 10 classes will be used for the study. So what is the sampling techniques? Wani Nadira. Wani Nadira Azlan. Can you answer that question? Oh, dia tak ada dalam kelas ni lah. That's why they switch off uh, the webcam. Okay, you get out. So, Darwini Adnan. So, what is the sampling frame? Sorry, tak berapa jelas. The list of the list the list of all students in medical college consists of. Oh no. Tak. I cakap apa maksud sampling frame sebelum ni? Sampling frame is a list of all members in the population, right? All member of the population. So since we have the list of member in our population, so macam mana kita nak contact that member? So we need to have their information, which is the name, their address, yang mana related lah, phone number, student ID, the semester, classes, right? So betul sikit, partially correct. So tapi the correct one should be all students. So list of all students in medical college X, right, consists of their information, consists of their names, Lagi apa? Address, class, group, lagi student ID, and so on lah. And phone number, for example, in case you want to contact them. Right? So this is how we define a sampling frame. So now, name of variable of interest. So apa yang dia nak study kat sini? Kita nampak tadi dia kata, they want to study a student satisfaction. So means that level of student satisfaction, level of student satisfaction. So level of measurement, variable of interest, student satisfaction. So let me tulis betul-betul lah. I punya tulisan ni teruk sangat. So student satisfaction. So type is a qualitative, and level of measurement should be ordinal scale. Right? So state the sampling techniques. So sampling techniques, Nurul Ashikin. So what is, sorry? Yes, why cluster sampling? Okay, the first one, they randomly choose 10 out of, choose 10 of 50 classes. This is not, this is one of the supporting evidence. The next supporting evidence is all student from the selected class. Yes. So this is the main reason of cluster sampling techniques lah. So kalau kita stop dekat sini, it could be either cluster or stratified kan, we don't know. So this is the main reason. All student, we select all student in the selected class. Right? Okay. So let's look at, kita habiskan, let's say kita try sampai 10 lah. So stem and leaf plot below represent a mathematics test score out of 100 and 15 randomly selected student in the class angle. So dekat sini dia bagi stem and leaf. So kita boleh buat projection sebelum kita tengok soalan. Right, so this is going to be a normal distribution lah. Kalau you rotate 90 degree, so dia sepatutnya 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So dia akan bentuk macam ni lah. Right. So 4 stroke 3 means 40. This is soalan ni I tak nampak. This is 43, right? Yes, should be 43 because the marks is out of 100. So calculate mean and standard deviation for the test score. So we need to input the data into calculator lah. So let's say choose mode 3, and since this is only single data, we choose 1. Right, so the first value is 43, 52, 54, 58, right, and then 62, 63, 65, 7, 8, 8, 9. Next is 71, 75, 78, 79. So they are all together 15 data. So 43, kita recheck balik lah. 43, 52, 4, 8, 62, 63, 57, 88, 9, 71, 75, 78, and this is wrong, right? 89. Nampak tak? So if you are using this calculator, then you can recheck and rectify the data. So this is quite simple. I think kalau chapter number 1 dan chapter number 2 dalam final exam, final assessment nanti, or test, so if you confused or still cannot answer this type of question, then sangat-sangat malu, right? Because this is very simple question. Soalan-soalan ni semua dah ada dalam mathematics, math modern, I think math modern SPM, right? Math modern or math, I think. So x bar should be equal to summation of x divided by n. So this one should be shift 1. Oh sorry, I belum. Right. So I belum tekan AC. Right. Shift 1. Baru ada dia punya ni lah. 3. X bar is 2 equal 987 lah. 982 divided by 15. This one should be shift 1 4 2. So 65.46. And standard deviation, square root, don't forget the square root, x square minus summation of x, and then you square divided by n, everything divided by n minus 1, and make sure the square, the roof to cover all formula. So this one should be shift 1, right, number 1 should be 66040 minus 982 square divided by 15, everything divided by 14. Don't forget the square root. So this one should be berapa? Shift 1 4. This is number 4 equal to 11.0 is 11.1819 lah. Okay. So this is a mean and standard deviation. So interpret the mean obtained. So how to interpret? Mean is 65.46. So the average. So very simple. The average of test score, mathematics test score is 65.46. Very simple. So number C. So we have mean, standard deviation, and n. So the summary statistic for test score for mathematics and biology, student class angle summarized in following tables. So using appropriate measure, so dia akan bagi tahu appropriate measure saja. So we want to know which subject is more dispersed or consistent. So we're going to measure using a coefficient of variation lah. So coefficient of variation for mathematics, CV, maths is S divided by mean multiply with 100%. So just plug in the value into the formula lah, 11.18. Right. So dia dah bagi siap-siap kan. Kalau you kira salah tu, you boleh check balik. Right. 59 divided by 65.4667. That's why I kata kalau salah tu malu sebab you boleh check balik. Soalan dia dah bagi, kat sini dia tanya mean and standard deviation, dekat bawah dia dah bagi jawapan. Right? So this one should be equal to 11.1859 divided by 65.4667 multiply with 100%. So this one should be 17.08, 17.08 cent. And CV for bio, so this one should be 17.5628 divided by 66.9412 multiplied with 100%. So 17.5623 divided by 66.9412 multiply 100%. So this is 26.23. So soalan dia tanya which one is more dispersed. So we can say that biology has dispersed test score compared with compared to mathematics test score, right? Okay, so now let's get into question number 6. So headmaster of private higher learning institution is interested to study a relationship between the students' hour spending on social media and their academic performance, right? He believed that the more time students spend on social media, the more likely students will fail their academics. So I think this is an old question, right? Not related to our situation now. So the institution has total of 2,500 students. Based on the previous examination, the student academic performance has been categorized as excellent, moderate, and low. So excellent, moderate, and low, we know that this is a categorical variable, qualitative variable. So we cannot say moderate, excellent, and low, right? It's not appropriate. So this one should be in order. So this is an ordinal scale, whereby the number of students in each category are 750, 1,000, 350, and 400 respectively. So the total is going to be berapa? 2,500. So random sample of 100 students. So dia kata kasi random sample of 100 students was selected for this study, and the time spent on social media was recorded. So A, state the population as sample for the above study. So what is the population? All student in private higher learning institution. Bukan, this is student dekat mana? The institution has 2,500. So private higher learning lah. Institution. Right. So sample will be 100 student from private higher learning institution. So this is 2 marks, very simple. Okay. So B, identify whether researcher conduct a census or sample survey. So this is apa? Census or sample survey? Safia binti Ramli. Safia binti Ramli. Can you answer the question? What is the answer? It's a sample survey lah, very simple kan, because it select 100 students. So That is the reason and that is the answer lah. Suggest another sampling method that can be used by headmaster. Explain briefly the sampling method chosen. Instead of simple random sampling, so you can also use apa? You can also use stratified sampling method lah, because we have three groups: excellent, moderate, and low, right? So we can select 100 from excellent, moderate, and low, right? So explain briefly the sampling method chosen. So you can explain lah macam mana why we have yang tadi saya cakap kita ada excellent, moderate and low tu. This is the reason lah. So briefly the sampling method chosen, you can explain. First, we divide the students into academic performance into excellent, moderate and low. We select 100 students from excellent, moderate and low by using simple random sampling and start distributing the questionnaire lah. Okay. Alright, let's look at question number 7. Aduh, di soalan ni senang sangat. So the following chart summarize weight in kilogram of 17 male and female orang hutan in reserve Semonggok. Right. Semonggok ni kat mana? Sarawak ke? Let me search. Sarawak kan? It's... yeah. Okay. So we have main standard deviation minimum and maximum. So name the diagram given. This is obviously a box and whisker plot lah. Right. Identify the outlier is any. So we have outlier number 16 and 17. Using appropriate measure, determine which gender has more consistent distribution weight. So very simple lah. CV for male, so 13.32 divided by 117.94 multiplied with 100, and CV for female should be 17.79 divided by 97.65 multiplied with 100%. So you calculate which one is more higher than which one is more lower, then it will be consistent lah. Okay. So question number 8. Ya, dah sejam saja kita boleh buat dalam 8 question. So this one I banyak bercakap. Kalau you buat sendiri mesti boleh dapat dalam 10 soalan. Right, so 2 jam boleh siap lah. So it's a reasonable question, tutorial question dalam 2 jam. Right, question number 8. SS Airlines has implemented a new boarding policy. In order to determine its customer opinion of this new policy, the group of researchers has made a list of all flights and randomly selected 30 flights. All passengers on those flights were invited to answer questionnaire during a certain weeks. So one of the survey item was, please rate your overall boarding experience today based on the following scale. So sama juga, this is a Likert scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this is the categorical data, qualitative data, we have ordinal scale. So what is the population of the study? So population is all apa? All customer who bought the flight lah, right? And the sample of the study is all customer in 30 flights, right? So name a sampling method used in this study. So the sampling method will be, dia kata kat sini they select randomly 30 flights, right? All passenger on those flights were invited to answer the question. So the sampling method will be a cluster sampling method, right? So give a reason, because they randomly select 30 they divide 30 flight, right? Select 30 flight out of all flight, berapa flight yang dia ada tak tahu, right? And then they select all passenger in those flight. So identify the type of variable and scale of measurement. The type of variable will be qualitative and the scale of measurement will be ordinal scale, right? Very simple. So easy to get 7 marks. Right, senang saja nak dapat 7 markah. So semua ada berapa? I think 60 marks kan? 60 marks, 7 markah dah berapa dah? Lagi berapa? Lagi 23 untuk lulus. Right, question number 9. So following charts record weekly milk yield in nearest kilogram for each cow selected at random in farm A. So kalau kita tengok dekat sini, dia punya distribution dia, let's say we have more, kita nak nampak macam bimodal, but this is not a bimodal. This is going to be a skewed to the right distribution lah. Kalau kita pusing sikit, you rotate 90 degrees, dan you can nampak macam skewed to the right. So dia lebih kepada tail dia banyak ke sini sikit lah. Tapi kita nampak dekat sini dia ada a bit high mode dekat sini. So this is a stem and leaf chart, right? Stem and leaf chart. So 12/9 means 129. So find the median weekly yield recorded in farm A and interpret the result. So this is a range data, right? This is a range data. So to find median, so location of median will be n plus 1 divided by 2. So this is how many data we have here. So you need to count lah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 24. Do you get the same answer? 24 plus 1 divided by 2. So 25 divided by 2 should be 12.5, right? 25 divided by 2, 12.5. 12.5. So you count lah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is 12, this is 13. 12.5 should be, median should be equal to 7. Interpret the result. So 50% of weekly milk yield of 25 cows is less than 7 kilos. And another 50% is more than 7 kilos. Right? Okay? Yep. 1-4. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I confused. So lah, this is not 7, eh? This is 147, eh? Alright. 147, yes. Less than 147 kilo, and another 50% is more than 447 kilos lah. Okay, very good. So now, let's see statistics for weekly meal yield for farm A and farm B are summarized. So dia bagi tahu kat sini lah. This is a summarization of milk yield from farm A and farm B. So using appropriate measure, again dia suka sangat tanya appropriate measure kan. This is berapa banyak tahun dah dia tanya. Right. Daripada soalan 9 means that setiap 2 soalan satu semester, 9 means 9 10. This is 4 semester. Right. Suka tanya soalan appropriate measure means coefficient of variation. This is the most famous question lah. Mungkin dia tak ada idea nak tanya kan. Alright. So 5 marks. This is very good punya markah dia nak bagi kat kita. So buat betul-betul. So coefficient of variation A is 13.7 divided by 148.7 multiplied with 100%. Coefficient of variation B, this is 8.3 divided by 158.5 multiplied with 100%. So what is the answer for A? 3.7 divided by, so this is a 13.7. 13.7 divided by 148.7 multiplied with 100. This is 9.2. 9.21. 9.21%. Right. So the next one is 8.3 divided by 158.5 multiply with 100%. This one should be 5.23. 5.23%. So we can say that farm B has more consistent weekly milk yield compared to farm A. Right? So we can say that farm B is more consistent. Right? Okay. So let's look at the last question before yang 11, 12 sampai 17 ni you boleh buat sendiri kot ah. Tak apalah, kita try tengok beberapa soalan randomly kita ambil. So a sample of 100 employee is to be selected. A sample of 100 employees to be selected at random from a company located at Kuala Lumpur, and their current salary will be recorded. Right? So a researcher is interested to study the relationship between employees' current salary and their performance appraisal. Right? So based on the available information, employees' performance appraisal has been classified into 3 category: excellent, moderate and low. I think macam pernah tengok je soalan ni kan. Right? Excellent, moderate and low. So I think this is a recycle question. Right? So penyedia soalan ni tak ada idea. Right? Dia recycle question, lebih kurang sama, dia ubah sikit, ubah sana, dapat soalan yang macam ni. So there are 1,000 employees in this company. The number of employees in each category is 350, 300 and 250. So the information need for the above study is readily available from the human resource department. So apa dia nak tanya ni? Between employee salary and their performance appraisal. So the population is all employee in a company, right? Employees, right? A sample should be 100 employee from in a company lah, in a company, right? So identify whether the researcher conduct census or sample survey. Of course, they conduct a census lah, sample survey lah, because they only select 100 employee randomly the from the company lah, right? It's a sample survey. Let me confirm it. Yes, correct. So C, name one of the variable of interest. So variable of interest is current salary and performance appraisal, right? So state the type and its level of measurement. Okay, kita ambil satu sajalah. Dua-dua pun boleh. This is a quantitative. Current salary quantitative, continuous quantitative. The types, level of measurement should be all. This is a ratio. Performance appraisal should be continuous quantitative as well, and the level of measurement should be ratio as well, right? Okay, I think kita take 5 minute rest dulu, and then kita akan tengok randomly soalan mana yang kita nak tengok. I think I nak tengok soalan number 15, right? Okay, kita rehat 5 minit sebelum kita tengok soalan number 15, right? Question number 15. A researcher is interested in comparing sodium content in gram in real cheese and cheese substitute. So the data for two random sample are shown in table 1 and table 2. So this is table 1 and this is table 2. Shows the summary statistics of sodium content of two types of cheese based on data table 1. So this is a real cheese and this is a cheese substitute lah. And this is the divider, right? So we have 8 data, right? So NRC is equal to 8 and CS equal to 8. So table 2, they give us the value of mean, standard deviation, standard error of mean, median, standard deviation, minimum and maximum value lah. So find the model value for the sodium content. So sodium content in cheese substitute lah. So model value is mode for cheese substitute. So kat sini dia ada mode tak? So they are not given us the value of mode, right? So we look into the data, right? So which one is appear many times? Which number appear many times? So kita tengok sini 270 appear one times, 180 appear one times, 250 appear one time, or 290 also one time. So we have 130 appear two times. So the mode will be 130 lah. For real cheese, so if you look at real cheese, 320 one times, 220 single times. So it's more sekali satu kali kan. So there are no mode or model value in real cheese. Sebab dia tak ada langsung yang appear many times. right? So determine the value of A and B. So A and B in the real cheese, right? So kita padam ni. So mean is, so dia tadi A is the mean. So summation of X divided by N. So we just input the value into calculator lah. So tengok markah, 2 mark saja. So 3, 1. So we input the value 320. Oops. This is 320. And then we have 220, 410, 240, 45, 180, and then 40, 90. So we have 8 lah. So mean should be summation, sorry. So this one kita kena tekan AC dulu lah. Is shift 1, 3, 2. So this one 1545. 1545 divided by 8 should be 1545 divided by 8 should be 193. So A will be 193.125. And B is the minimum value, right? Minimum value. So the minimum value will be 40. Very simple. Where is my calculator? Sekejap ya. Alright. So number 3, name one statistical method and one graphical presentation method that can be used to make a comparison and shape of the shape of distribution between real cheese and cheese substitute. So statistical method would be coefficient of variation. So this is one of statistical method that can be used to compare the shape of distribution. The shape of distribution, right? Shape of distribution is not a coefficient of variation. Basically, coefficient of skewness. Ataupun Pearson coefficient of skewness. And graphical method will be box and whisker plot. Right? 2 marks. And number 4, compute the coefficient of Pearson coefficient of skewness for sodium content for both type of cheese. Is there any different shape of distribution? Right. So coefficient of skewness, let's say for real cheese, COS. Kita kata COS for PC, RC will be kita the value of mean, median, and standard deviation. So kita ambil 3, mean is for A, RC, RC 193.125 minus median is 200, right? Divided by standard deviation 132.151. So this is going to be negative value and a negative. And then coefficient of skewness. So tapi you need to put the value here lah. You need to calculate and put the value here. So we already know this is a negative value lah. For COS for cheese substitute will be 3 multiplied with mean is 231.25 minus median is 255.00 divided by Standard deviation 76.614. See, this is also negative value. So we can say that both sodium content have a negatively skewed distribution, right? So is there any shape different in shape distribution? We can tell by using, so this is the first question, this one by using coefficient of skewness. By the shape of distribution, you can say whether by using a coefficient of variation lah. Coefficient of variation for RC is 132.151 divided by mean is 193.125 multiplied with 100%. And for this one COV, substitute cheese, this is 76.614 divided by 231.25 multiply with 100%. So can you calculate for me RC dapat berapa? COV for RC dapat berapa? 68.43. How about SC, substitute cheese? 33.13. So we can say that the shape, the distribution for SC is more consistent compared to RC lah, and there is a difference between the shape of distribution lah, right? So if you know coefficient of variation, kalau dia besar, so means that dia lebih disperse lah, right? Dia punya white tu lebih besar, right? Kalau dia kecil, so dia akan lebih rapat, right? So dia akan lebih tinggi berbanding dengan the dispersed one, right? Name the method used to compare consistency of consistency of sodium content between two type of cheese. Determine which cheese is more consistent. Ini kita dah kira tadi kan? So dah siap lah. Compare consistency means coefficient of variation lah. Okay? I think that's all for question number 15. 16 is simple, right? And 17 is also simple. Dia benda yang sama juga macam tadi, right? So dekat sini dia kata, alright, kita tengok question number 17. Descriptive statistics on family annual income in thousand of 9 in household in 2 cities. Right, so we know that this is NA should be equal to 9 and B is also equal to 9. Right, so interpret the median and mode for the city A. So city A, so median is 21.6 and mode is 23. So we can say that 50% of annual income in city A is less than 21.6 thousand. Another 50% of the residents in a household in city A having annual income more than 21.6 thousand. Right? Means that this is a 21,000. Yep. Okay, the model value, most of the household have annual income 23.0 thousand. Right, this is for city A. So what is the highest family income for city B? So the highest is the maximum value lah. So this one should be 44.1 thousand. Right. Compute the variance and value and of the family income in CTB. So variance will be the square of standard deviation. So standard deviation for CTB is 9.51. So standard variance will be 9.51 square. So ambil calculator, 9.51 square. It should be 90.44. Right? So from the above information, sketch and box and whisker plot of the family income for both cities and comment the shape of distribution. Right, so let's say I tulis dekat tepi ni lah. So box plot require 5 element yang kita belajar, mean, minimum, maximum, quarter 1, quarter 2 and quarter 3. So let's say I padam ni semua dulu. Let's focus on CTA. The minimum value is 12.5 and the maximum is 42.3. So let me change the ruler. Okay. Let's say I letak ruler macam ni, kecil sikit lah. Alright. So let's say this is 12.5. Right. Kita tarik sampai, let's say this is 50. 50 too much. Let's say 45. So this is starting from 0 lah, 10 lah. Okay. Right. This is from 10. So let's say 12 should be somewhere here. Right. This is 12. And 42 should be somewhere here. Tapi you kena measure betul-betul lah. So let's measure properly lah. So you can see and appreciate. Let's change the ruler to bigger sikit. Alright. So let's say this is 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Okay, boleh? Right, so 10, 12 point, berapa tadi? 12, oh, dia sudah lari. 12.5. Besar sikit. Okay, let's say kita tarik satu line dekat sini lah. Right. So 12.5 should be somewhere here lah. Huh? Dia sepatutnya tengah-tengah. Right. Tengah-tengah kat sini. This is minimum value. And the maximum value 42.3 should be somewhere here. Right. So this is the minimum value. And this is the maximum value for CTA. And then we're going to look into quarter 1 should be 19.2. 19.2 should be somewhere here lah. So kita tarik panjang sikit. 19.2 somewhere here. And 35.6. 35.6 somewhere here lah. Dia dekat-dekat sikit dengan 35. Right. So this is a box and whisker plot. Dia suruh buat box and whisker plot kan? Yep. And median should be, berapa median eh? Median is 21.6. 21.6 somewhere here. Right? So if you look at for CTA, this is a CTA. For CTA is a skewed to the right distribution. Right? So let's do for CTB. CTB, the minimum value is, let's say I use another color. Let's say let's choose purple. So 12.6 somewhere dekat-dekat sini juga. Dia lebih sikit. Better atas sikit lah. So this one should be dekat sini jugalah, lebih kurang 12.6, and the maximum value is 44.1. So 44.1 should be closely to 45, right? And then the quarter one is 18.45. 18.45 should be bawah sikit lah. So this is going to be your 18.45. And quarter number 2 is 32.7. 32.7 should be somewhere here. Is it? Sebab I tak nampak kan? Alright. So this is a box and whisker plot for CTB. But we not yet finished. So quarter number 2, which is median, is 23. 23 is somewhere here lah. That's why you need to measure it properly lah. So this is for CTB. So CTB is also having a skew to the right distribution. Alright. So next question is using appropriate measure, determine which city or family income is more consistent. So soalan yang famous so I think you already know lah how to calculate coefficient of variation, right? So I think I leave it for you lah to calculate this one. Coefficient of variation for A, coefficient of variation for B. So let's say A is 9.812 divided by mean is 25.72 multiply with 100%, and for CTB is 9.51 divided by 26.01 multiply with 100%. So what is the value for CTA? What is the coefficient of variation for CTA? 38. 38.15. Is it? For CTB? 36.56. Right? So we can make a conclusion. CTB is, the family income in CTB is more consistent compared to CTA lah. Very simple. Right? Okay? Ada soalan before we end our session? So I think this is very simple question lah. Semua ni soalan-soalan senang. Right? Ada soalan ni? If you have any question to raise. So if you don't have any question, then I think that's all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.